in the last 100 years, we've successfully invented and exported 5 different art forms. Basically gospel, blues, rhythm and blues, rock and roll, jazz, and country and western. It's one of the great American exports that we've taken around the world in the last 20 years. And a multi-billion-dollar business has been created around this art form. And pop music in particular was the most dominant. And in London, where I was, it was sort of the hotbed of the whole revolution as far as Europe was concerned. In those days, a new word was invented called hard rock, which was attributed to Jimi Hendrix and Clapton and Jimmy Page and some of the great players. When we opened the Hard Rock in London, first of all, there was no American restaurant in Europe, so it really became the first American restaurant. But more importantly, it really became the first classless restaurant in the UK. When I moved there, there was no place where a baker and a banker were allowed to commune. So the choice of putting the Hard Rock Cafe across from Buckingham Palace in the middle of the high rent district in Mayfair was the perfect incongruent sort of piece missing from the image that I was trying to create. And sure enough, I thought I had died and gone to heaven when 3 weeks later the place was filled with famous musicians, where the Beatles were sitting over here and Jimi Hendrix over there. The Hard Rock in London became this mecca, and it's important to understand that you do not exploit culture. You have to earn the right to represent it. And that's what we spent the first 15 years really doing, really courting the entire industry. We were backstage, or we were, at the recording studio. We collected all of their memorabilia, their gold records, their guitars, and so forth and so on. And people would come in to see them. I think the most exciting moment of my career was the first guitar I got, which was given to me by Eric Clapton. And we put it up on the wall, and it was because the music industry hung out there continuously. It went through the whole music industry that I've taken this guitar and put it up on the wall. No one had ever seen something like that before. So we realized we were onto a good thing, because it was a form of immortalizing heroes, young heroes, almost instantly. When you start doing, as we did in London, $20 million in sales a year, you're no longer a restaurant. You're a cultural phenomenon. And we sort of represented, in a sense, I guess, this great American genre. And we took it all over the world. We were just as popular in Tokyo as we were in London, or Stockholm, or Reykjavik, now Berlin, Paris. We had a very, very simple formula to break the name, and that was using the new communication. So we would either be on MTV, Entertainment Tonight, CNN, or it could be USA Today or Rolling Stone. We had a very simple goal. We wanted to get 50 million consumer impressions a month. Out of the 2-year program that we had, we only missed 2 months in getting 50 million consumer impressions. Very quickly, it became a household word in the United States. In New York, we were doing $24–25 million a year in sales. The last place that I negotiated, Orlando, does about $40 million in sales. This is not a restaurant. This is a cultural phenomenon based on music. And then in '88, I decided to retire. I'd been working for 20 years to the day, actually, on the project. And I had taken it public. The name had been broken. There were many, many cities that we had developed to move into, so there really wasn't too much more for me to do. But I kept looking at what was going on in music. It was very interesting to me to watch the granddaddy of them all, blues music. People are looking for things that are real, things they can relate to, things that have depth. The blues is a natural. Suddenly, blues became this all-American genre for the whole family with a broad demographic. Now you have cities like, it started the blues explosion, like Chicago, getting 500,000 people over 2 days to come to their blues festival. I saw the opportunity, which I never thought I would see in my lifetime again, is taking a culture and putting an umbrella over it, creating an icon, creating the trademark that the marketplace relates to in terms of that culture.